There we go. The recording has started. So welcome everybody to the webinar for the ICT and Software Engineering profile. For this hour, we have three speakers. I'm one of them. Who's going to talk a little bit about what you can expect for the study here. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Kyung Kwa. I'm the guy all to the left. I'm actually one of the employees or teachers teaching mainly in the first and the second year. And I'm also the coordinator of the second semester course-based related specifically to the software engineering profile. Then we also have Tim Curvers. He is a fellow coordinator responsible for the third semester. He will also be talking about what you can expect from that part of the program. And then we also have Livia Popper, which is one of our students. She's in her final year. So she'll be sharing a little bit about how it is to study in the Netherlands and what you can expect. So how does the program look like? Well, first, I'm going to talk a little bit about what ICT and software engineering is. How does it position itself compared to the other programs we have related to ICT. Then I'm going to go together with Tim a little bit deeper into, okay, how does the actual academic program looks like? So we have the different semesters that you have to go through. And after that, Livia is going to talk about the things related to studying in the Netherlands and the PROXY Association, which I think she is the chairperson of. And finally, we'll use the remaining time to answer any questions that you might still have. Just so you know, if you do have any questions while either of us are presenting, do type it in the chat or raise a hand via the MS Teams app, and we'll try to answer it as we go. You can also wait till the end when we have the Q&A session itself. Right, I'm assuming that everybody here is looking at this for the first time at the different programs we have at Fontys ICT Eindhoven in this case. So what I've done here is included a slide just to give you an idea on how software engineering is positioned between the other four profiles. So basically we have business, ICT and business, ICT technology, ICT media design, and ICT and infrastructure. And if I were to talk about ICT and software engineering, basically we're actually positioned somewhere in the middle. I'm not saying that we're very important. Every profile is very important, but what this image actually tries to indicate is that with software engineering, you're actually also covering parts of the other profiles, because software engineering is well related to a lot of different concepts within the IT domain, which I will be covering, of course, in this lecture itself. It's just as a indication that this is just an image depicting how software engineering is, of course, related to the other profiles. I'm pretty sure that, for example, business also has parts of media design and infrastructure, etc. And they'll probably be able to tell you when they have their webinars. So, as I mentioned, software engineering profile, or the program itself, is somewhere in the middle, basically meaning that it does a lot of different things. So if you still have to say what is ICT and software engineering, we would actually say that, well, you're responsible to develop quality software based on user requirements. And when we're talking about software, we basically mean software that people use. This is different compared to, for example, if you were to do business technology, my apologies, which is more related to hardware programming. So we're creating software in the broad sense based on what the client wants. So this is an image which I'm going to misuse actually, because this is an image which indicates what can go wrong when communicating within a project. But the way I'm actually going to use this to indicate just what kind of task activities, what job positions you might end up doing if you choose for the ICT and software engineering profile. And it's actually these parts. So if we look at the 2, 3, 4, and 5, what it actually means that you're actually quite involved with everything that's related to as soon as a project starts, a software project starts, all the way till the end where you have to work on documentation, installing things, deploying actually, and supporting it. There seems somebody to missing some audio. Is Michael the only person missing it, or are actually more people not hearing anything?
No, we can hear you normally, I think.
All right. Right. Good. So just if something is a little bit wonky, just let us know. So why I'm telling you this, why I'm showing you this image with these boxes between them, is just to show you again that what we're trying to teach you when you're doing ICT and software engineering actually fits into quite a few different roles. And one of the things that is interesting is that, of course, we're going to design and implement code and test it. But that's not the only thing. You're also responsible, for example, with speaking to different stakeholders, for the client, or maybe somebody else within the team. You're also responsible of documenting things, which, of course, all the students really like. But still, you need to do it. It's part of your job. So what does it mean after 4 years of studying at Fontys ICT? Well, I think most of our students end up starting some kind of position that fits into junior software engineering. And what it actually means is that you're kind of a jack of all trades, right? You did all kinds of things related a little bit to the business, a bit of infrastructure related to media design, etc., etc. What it actually means is that you have the basic knowledge to be participating in a real company's projects. And usually our students end up being either a front-end developer, so we're talking about creating websites, maybe mobile apps, and those kinds of things. You can up as a back-end developer, which is basically more, what a website talks to, if I say it like this. Or maybe you're going to be more traditionally going to be a software developer, which is mainly focused on desktop applications. Maybe you're testing, and there are probably a lot of other positions, jobs that you could do after 4 years of and graduating at a study. Of course, if you were to stick with the software engineering domain, at some point you'll get into a more senior position. What you'll see here is that then things becomes more conceptual, like a software architect, or you're going more towards the business part, where you're going to be a project lead or a consultant speaking with clients. So again, what we're trying to convey here is that we try to give you the basics of all these things. So both the hard skills of programming as the soft skills as professional collaboration. Actually, we call it professional skills are going to be part of our program. So this is roughly what you can expect when you're going to do the ICT and software engineering profile. So if we were to talk about how it looks like when you start your study here, very important to know is that our study exists out of 4 years, and each year is split up in 2 semesters. And you can see here that you go from, well, semester 1 to all the way to 8. And the interesting part here is that if you were to choose software engineering or any other profile, you'll mainly be taught in that specific profile during semester 2, 3, and 6. Because in the other semesters, like semester 4, 5, or 7, and 8, you're doing something else. So for example, we have something called specializations, which I think is a different webinar, where you're going to do something that's not related to your profile at all. So you can think of AI or cybersecurity. Then we have internship and graduations, where you're actually going to work at a company for half a year, where you need to show us, okay, what we've learned or what you've learned during your study here, I can also apply it in an actual situation in a company. And we also have the minor, that's always part of your study, which can be anything, if I may say it like this. So what we're going to do now is talk about, well, the semesters where you're going to be specifically working on software engineering. And I'm actually going to talk about the first, and then Tim will talk about the remaining ones. I see Leo is mentioning something. Yeah, so as Leo mentioned in the chat, the specializations will actually be discussed on Thursday. That's why I'm not going any deeper into them. So that's a very good question, Kuba. what actually happens during the first semester is that we assume that you start from scratch. So we assume all our students have almost no knowledge about programming at all. So we start with very basic things like declaring a variable, doing additions, those kinds of things. And the way we do it when we talk about software engineering is by making use of the C# language. And we'll assume when teaching this that you don't know anything about it. So it's mainly a lot of theory, showing you how it's done, and then a lot of practicing for our students. But when I look at the first semester, that's only one of the 5 things you're going to focus on during that semester. Because semester 1 is all about getting a little bit acquainted with all 5 profiles, all 5 main programs. So this means that during semester 1, you get a taste of what each of these profiles are. And after 12 weeks, you can decide, okay, I'm going to commit, hopefully, into software engineering, for example. And there you're going to continue more into C# programming in our case, and you're going to start working on a project that requires you to do quite some programming. And of course, what we do see is that the range of students starting in semester 1 is, well, the range as in the knowledge that they have is quite broad. Some of them, of my students, have a lot of knowledge already, and some of them don't. And usually, knowing a little bit about it does help you. Basically what Tim mentioned. Right, that's semester 1. So assuming that you're going to choose for software engineering as your main program or your main profile, what happens then is that you end up in semester 2, where you only focus on ICT and software engineering topics. And more specifically, semester 2 is giving you the basics of object-oriented development. Again, this is a very generic way of talking about it. But what it actually means is that we're going to look into web development, because any programmer, serious programmer, needs to know something about it. It's such a relevant thing. So the languages we're going to look into is basically JavaScript and PHP. And of course, when we're talking about web development, you need to also know about HTML and CSS. You're going to continue with C#. Basically, that's going to be the language that we continue teaching you things like inheritance and more advanced topics that you need to do when developing software. And a very important part is that we also look into your professional skills, like creating technical documents, but also cultural awareness and how to give each other feedback, because we're in a very a diverse environment. When looking at nationalities, there are of course differences, and there can be clashes, and etc., etc. So we are going to also spend a little time on it to discuss, okay, what does it mean, right? Dutch culture is actually very different compared to a culture like China. The way we approach things might be different, the way of communication. So this is just giving you a little bit of ideas in what these differences are, a bit of expectation management. So these are a little bit more about the things you're going to learn. Besides that, for semester 2, you also have a simulated group project. What you're going to do there is you're going to show the teachers, the tutors that are involved in your group project that indeed you know how to apply the different things you've learned. And besides the group project, we also have workshops and guest lectures by PIEs. Sounds really fancy, but basically partner in educations. And these are companies that have decided to get involved with our educations, in our education. And later on in the presentation, we'll go a bit deeper into it. So this is basically the first 2 semesters. And what I would like to do is give the floor to Tim, who's going to talk about the remaining 2 and the PIEs themselves.
Yes, thanks, June. Good afternoon. I'm Tim, and I will be talking about semester 3. I am the coordinator for that semester, so this is my niche, I would say. We'll be discussing what we call client-server architecture, and we start explaining how the backend works with Java. If these terms don't mean anything to you, that's fine. If they do, then you have a generic idea of what we're doing. We're doing a front end with one of the 3 big JavaScript frameworks, and you are the one who gets to choose which one you want to use. And I think the big focus And also the thing that is very important as a software engineer is how to make sure that what you are doing actually works, because you can build stuff and then after 3 weeks it falls apart. So testing is important. What we call continuous integration, continuous deployment or delivery is important. Making sure it works, making sure it's secure, making sure it's performing as you want. All these things matter just as much as just the common software engineering part, I would say. And we'll, of course, in semester 2, you will have had your start in software architecture, and we'll deepen that out a bit. So how do you make sure that your application is maintainable? It is easy to understand for other people. It can be added on by other people. So making sure that your design of your application is just like building a house, that you are setting it up in a proper way and also maintaining that design so that all the good, proper best practices are used in your application. We have a group project with a partner in education as a client, and that is a bit different from the first one, which was simulated, which is, of course, a safe environment. And now we say you've had your fair share of software engineering, you're going to be put to the test now. So you get a case, and we ask partners in education every half year to create a case for our students, and it could be a case that can be used actually in their company. For example, they are now building for one of the companies that we have a terminal in which a person should enter his initials and name and then register when he enters the company. Especially now when you have COVID, it's important to know who is in the building and who is not, so that you can manage the amount of people there. So they make actual projects, and this, of course, gets a bit more hectic than normal group work when it's when teacher has more focus and control on it. But it also makes it more real, and you get a real taste of what it feels like being a software engineer. So I think it's pretty cool, and hopefully you learn a lot. Okay, thanks. Yeah, next slide. Then normally it looks like we're skipping stuff, but then comes semester 4, which was the specialization. So you could either be doing, for example, artificial intelligence or security or whatever specialization you picked. And then in semester 5, you go into the field and do an internship for half a year at a company. So you get a big project and you work on that on your own. And the company supervises that, and at the end of that period you have like a little mini graduation, I think. Then we end up in semester 6, which is software again, and we are going to scale up the complexity of what we have been doing, because up till now we have been building small games or web shops or whatever. And now we are scaling up our requirements up to the scale of Amazon, Netflix, so the real big companies that have servers and people using them everywhere. And you need to know how to make that work. So we're going to talk about how to make sure that software works in such a big space, with such a big amount of people and players going around. We do that by what we at this time call context-based research. So we are going to let go a little bit of the I wouldn't call it hand-holding, but helping you out step by step, but giving you tools and means to research your own solution to a problem, because of course that is what you will need as a software engineer. You won't be given problems that are easy and fixable, but sometimes you get the tough ones and you have to figure out on your own or with a partner or group or whatever how to fix your problem. That also has a group project with a partner in education as a client. I don't think actually it's not called partner in education, but I forgot the term for it. But we have like a tier system of partners where the partner in education are the partners that don't pay money to help us, and we have partners that actually are the top tier partners, and they partner innovation. Thank you. Yeah. FYI, I guess. Yeah, you will have to search for the internships yourselves, but Fontys will give you a hand there because we have a big database and software engineers are in high demand, and so are interns. So you are very much wanted. So we have like a big database of tasks that partners can put in that database, and you can apply to one of those projects. And you will still have like a normal job interview, and they will decide, and you will decide if from both sides this continues. But we'll help you out a bit, so you're not left out in the cold. Yeah, there will be classes to help you with the problem solving. And math, I think that question is better answered by Kyung. Is there still math?
Not per se. It depends a little bit. When you are doing your first semester, at some point, if you are able to, well, proceed without too much difficulties, you get opportunity to do something called an accelerated program. And what that means is basically while you're doing your education at Fontys ICT Eindhoven, you also start doing like a pre-master track for the Technical University of Eindhoven, so for your master's degree. If you're going that way, one of the things you'll get in addition to the regular program are math classes. So talking about the proposition, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, true. What I do have to say is that if you have like a talent for math, or at least what Leo above said was, what was it again? Logical analytical thinking. It seriously helps your software engineering skills. So if you are very able to see the problem and divide it up into smaller parts and then start solving that problem from top to bottom, that really helps you. So some math skill is helpful, I think. Yeah. These are the partners in education. So like I said, these are, I don't think it's all of them actually. We have some more partners that are not on this list. But we have a lot of partners. So if you are in our semester, you will meet a lot of, yeah, I think Leo has it correct there, more than 120 partners. So you are going to meet multiple companies. And the benefit for you is, of course, that you get a good feeling of what the business life is like. And you might even meet some companies that you would like to stay at. And the companies, of course, they want to have new good recruits, and they want to help out in the quality of the education because it also helps them, I think. So that is about the partners, I guess. You can go to the next slide.
All right.
Livia is now going to take over. Sorry, yeah, I was a bit slow there.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Yeah. All right, hopefully you can see mine now.
I see that Kuba has a question about Math AA and Math AI.
Exactly.
If I'm honest, I'm not completely sure what those represent. I only know the Dutch versions of things.
Okay, so in
yeah.
IB diploma,
Yeah.
you can have exams from Math AA and its analysis and approaches.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's for like engineers stuff. And you have also Math AI, which is analysis and interpretation.
They both actually sound very useful. But I still don't have a clear idea what it actually means. So probably I can't answer your question at this point.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or no, I think. All right, then I'll continue. Hello, everyone. My name is Livia, and as Mr. Kwa said before, I'm a fourth-year student here at Fontys. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about studying at Fontys and more important why in the Netherlands. I'm originally coming from Romania, and I found out that there are plenty of good reasons. We can start with the fact that Fontys offers a wide range of programs which are taught in English, and I think that's really nice. One really nice fact is that when I came here in the Netherlands, I was really afraid that I have to learn Dutch, which is not the case because 90% of the Dutch speak English. So it was really helpful when you come here and you have to register for the town hall. So yeah, you really need to communicate a lot around you. Everyone knows English here, so you don't have to worry about that. The teaching style here at Fontys is really interactive and it's really student-centered. Teachers are always there for you, so never hesitate to ask them questions. They're going to be there to help you, even if you don't know which path to choose further. You can always ask for advice, so they're going to be there for you. And of course, you might be thinking about accommodation. It's a really important and I would say hot topic because, yeah, you need to stay somewhere. And Fontys actually helps you with that. So in the first year when I came here, Fontys provides several websites to choose from. So yeah, I would say that's really helpful. You don't really need to worry about that. You have to search for your own accommodation starting the second year. So it's really nice. And even if in the second year you have any troubles finding accommodation, Fontys is still going to help you. The Dutch society is really nice. I would say I really integrated myself really easily here. It's diverse, it's inclusive, and yeah, it's really strongly connected to other cultures. So I have a lot of international friends now, not anymore Romanians. And yeah, as it was said before, Fontys really maintains close ties with business and industry. So here it's not that I only learned about software engineering, but I also learned how to do documentation, talk to clients, and it really helped me because currently I'm working as a data scientist at a startup company for 1 year. So I can say that Fontys really taught me a lot. So let's see a little bit about Eindhoven. Well, Eindhoven is located in the southeast of the Netherlands, and it's also known as the Brainport region. It's also called Silicon Valley of Europe. I'm going to say a little bit later about that. It's an international recognized center of science, so it really attracts students that are passionate about ICT, engineering, or business. A lot of students actually open up their startup, even if in the final year when they do the graduation, they have the choice to do this project in their own company. So if you are passionate about software and also business, I would say it's a great opportunity. So as I said, Silicon Valley of Europe. Why? Well, because Philips was founded here, and I think everyone knows about it. They really have most of the patents, I would say. So also Brabantia, DAF trucks. So yeah, it's really the city of technology, I would say. A little bit about the food. Dutch culture and Dutch food, I would say it's really oriented towards the sweet food. So my favorite food is actually, well, in the middle here. It's called stroopwafel. You can find it everywhere at every supermarket. And yeah, when you come here, just try it out. It's really good. Also the croquette, the cheese. Actually, the Netherlands is the largest cheese exporter in the world. Here, what you see on the bottom is called hagelslag, and the Dutch love them. They use it even on top of sandwiches. It's basically chocolate sparkles, but it's really good. I definitely recommend it. And fries with mayo. So studying in the Netherlands, well, social life. Of course, you as students want to go out, socialize, find friends. So you have several places to do that. You can go to Stratungsland, which is actually the longest or largest street with bars. and it's really well known in the entire Netherlands. You have a lot of rooftops, festivals. For King's Day, you can see a picture at the bottom. So all Dutch people, and not only Dutch, dress in orange because, yeah, of course, that's the traditional color. They go party on the street. It's a really nice mood. And you can see that, yeah, Dutch people really know how to have fun. So I would say something different, at least for me. And Glow, which was actually supposed to be last week, it's a festival with lights around the city. So you can go, there is actually a path around the city that is specially marked. So you can follow that, and yeah, you can see several buildings nicely, yeah, lights with lights on top of them. Parks, yeah. So here I was really nicely surprised that there are really big parks that you can go run, even get your laptop study. And libraries here, I want to mention that across the Fontys campus, there is the TUE campus, the Technical University of Eindhoven campus, and the library there allows you to study anytime. So they also allow Fontys students to go there. And it's a really nice place because you can go there with your team, and yeah, socialize as well, because yeah, you might find new fellow students that you can learn from. And a little bit about PROXY, which, as Mr. Kwa said right in the beginning, I'm the chairman of the study association, and it's an association made for students by students. We are here to help students with everything. So we are organizing a lot of workshops, events. Sometimes students have questions about different subjects, so they also come and ask us, and we make sure that we have people to help them. It's a voluntary study association, but that does not mean that you won't gain anything. I would say you gain a lot of experience. So personally, I really developed myself in the sense that I learned how to socialize more. It's a really nice experience. Here you can see a screenshot with our team, actually with the board of PROXY, and in the end you can be part of PROXY. So don't hesitate to join. There are several recruitment sessions during the year. So if you want to help organizing some events, just don't hesitate to join it. And here you can actually scan these QR codes, and you can get an insight of the events that we are organizing. I can also mention the fact that the first contact that you're going to have with PROXY is in the introduction week. We are organizing a full week with activities, barbecues, parties. So this way, I would say you get to know your fellow students, and yeah, you get to socialize with the people in your class, and not only. So it's a really nice opportunity. So we are Fontys, join us. I would say it's a really nice experience. I love it, and I'm gonna definitely miss it because I'm in my last year. And I'm gonna give the word back to Tim for questions.
Hi, yes, thanks. Thank you, Livia. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. Leo is the person that will have the questions about documentation or enrollment, I think. He's answering the first two now. Are there any other questions? Yeah, I see some hands. Let me switch. Kuba, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question because I'm in IB program. I think you know it. It's an international program. And basically, do I need IELTS or things like this to go to Fontys? Because I'm passing my exams in English, and it's like in a whole word. That's why I ask.
Leo, can you answer this question?
Yes, hello everybody. So if I understand well, you are now studying IB?
Yes.
At Fontys in Eindhoven, or?
No, basically in Poland, but the exams are the same on the whole earth.
Okay, so and what's your question now?
Because, for example, if you are not studying in Holland, I think, there's a situation that you need to show some, I don't know, grades from your English level or something like this. And I want to ask you, do I need to do some other courses if I'm in IB?
I actually don't really understand your question. The only thing I can say is that if you want to study here at Fontys ICT, you need to have an official secondary school diploma. You are from Poland, you're mentioning.
Yes.
So you need to have the regular Polish secondary school certificate. I forgot its name right now, but
Yeah, it's international school, Leo. So I think
okay. So you have your IB diploma.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. All right. So when you have an IB diploma with English in your, of course, in your grades, then you will be exempted for IELTS, TOEFL, or whatever English certificate what students normally have to supply.
Okay, thank you.
Did I answer your question? And
Yes. Yes.
okay, great.
yeah, most internships are paid. Yeah. So they expect you to actually work. I think Troy Sins has a question. If I'm pronouncing it correct. Yeah.
I'd like to ask once more because I asked it in the chat, and I would like to ask one more time. So
Yeah.
let's say I admit for the course that starts in the September. Let's say now I passed the TOEFL exam. I got the let's say required score, but my secondary school diploma will be available just in the middle of July. And as I mentioned, I would like to search for the accommodation somewhere in May, so everything is fine and good. So will the university send me, let's say, a letter that you're enrolled and just the diploma is left from you, and so I send my diploma till the, let's say, deadline, or what date is it needed, or the letter that will say am I enrolled or am I not will be in the August?
No, it's what you first mentioned. So when you start your application now, you indicate what diploma you're going to achieve. Based on this, you will be accepted, yes or no. You know?
Yeah, thank you. That's very
but indeed, you have to take care of accommodation. And if you want Fontys to help you with this, then you need to apply for that before the 15th of June. So I would advise you then, when you do your application, also do an application for accommodation. That's part of the application process. And then we can help you with this.
That's why I was asking, because I'm looking for accommodation by myself, because I'm doing, well, we are planning to admit with one more person. That's why we'll search for a, let's say, place for to stay for 2 people. That's why I will be searching by myself. So if I get to know, as you managed in 2 weeks after my application, that will be perfect. So I'm not worried about the accommodation, and I can look for it in the May without any struggles, problems, thinking about that I'm not enrolled. And yeah.
No. So you will hear within 2 weeks after you have applied whether you can be admitted, yes or no. So, and that's based on your secondary school diploma.
Yeah, okay, I see. So if my secondary school diploma, like in my country, there are some minimums that are needed to get this diploma that will allow me to apply for the university. So that will be just the another requirement, which will I'll have to send to finally, let's say, get enrolled, just like the final tick in the plan.
Yeah. So when you eventually have achieved your diploma, you send us a copy. And when you come over to Eindhoven, you bring it with you and you show it to us, and then it's settled.
Yes, very well. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Any more questions? I see there's one about the laptop. I would say recent Core i5 processor or similar. I would go up to 16, as you have to have it for 4 years, I guess, and 512 gigs of an SSD drive, I would say.
What actually helps is having a Windows machine at the start, because you're using Visual Studio. And for example, Linux or Mac isn't really supported by that specific program.
Yeah. Is your hand still up, Troy Sins or Marks? I don't know what your first name is.
Sorry, I just forgot to.
Yeah. Savannah?
Yes.
Yeah, Musa, I guess your first name is.
Yes, right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question about the certification. Which certification should I do?
You typed it in the chat, you mean, or you mean for English?
Yeah, for English, because I don't know if I should do C1 or IELTS certification.
Leo, can you take this one?
Yeah, that's up to you. You can choose IELTS or TOEFL. That's
okay.
all okay. Cambridge CAA is also okay. So there are several options. If you go to our website, fontys.edu/ICT, and if you on the left there is a menu, scroll down menu. If you go to entry requirements, you can find all these. All this information is available there.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tim, you're muted.
Yeah, I see that now. Any more questions? Yeah, good one, Leo. So if there are no more questions, then I would like to conclude this seminar. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions that pop into your mind later, send an email to campuseindhoven@fontys.nl or go to our Facebook site. Hope to see you again in half a year, I guess, right? And have a nice evening. Thank you all, and thank you all speakers, and wish you all the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, you too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Good luck.